Okay, good morning again, everyone. Thank you. Um, of course, this morning I have to start by thanking you again for your patience. We are off to a little bit of a late start, but nonetheless, we will proceed with what we have planned for you. Hopefully, it will be something that maintains the rules of, functions such as these, where we keep it short and simple and sweet, and you'll be appreciative of your time spent here. Mrs. Authrine Scarlett, Senior Director, Housing Management in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. Dr. Garth Anderson, President of the Jamaica Teachers Association. Mrs. Winnie Berry, who is on her way, hopefully, and will join us shortly, Deputy Director within the Chief Education Officer's Office of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. Mr. Howard Johnson and other representatives of the Realtors Association of Jamaica. Mr. Fabian Morris, President of the National Secondary Students Council, school principals and other school representatives that may be joining us, the chairman and directors of the Real Estate Board, the Chief Executive Officer and fellow members of staff of the Real Estate Board, directors and officers of the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation and its agencies, specially invited guests, other online audience joining us via Facebook and of course, YouTube via live stream. Good morning, everyone. It is indeed a pleasure to be here today because 30 years ago, the Real Estate Board was established under the Real Estate Dealers and Developers Act. Sorry, let me go again. 30 years ago, the Real Estate Board was established under the Real Estate Dealers and Developers Act to ensure that all persons who practice the business of real estate maintain an acceptable standard of professionalism. Since then, the organization has grown leaps and bounds in an effort to keep pace with the demands of the serving the sector stakeholders and the general public, who, of course, we pledge to protect their interests at all costs. Through the months of September and October 2018, we have and will continue to engage in a number of activities to celebrate the milestone of 30 years of service to Jamaica. It would have started with our very special back-to-school treat that was done for the children at the Strathmore Gardens Children's Home in St. Catherine last Wednesday. There, the team distributed school supplies to all the wards, served a few treats, and spent time interacting with them and their caregivers. This was made possible through the kindness of team members and our families, members of the board of directors, and other kind supporters. Then we took the time to give God thanks for his goodness as a family. We worshipped with the members of the Mambi Park Baptist Church this past Sunday, and it was a most refreshing experience. Today we are here to launch the Real Estate Board National High School Essay Competition, and it is our hope that it will realize innumerable benefits for the real estate industry as well as all those who will be participating. To put it simply, we are ecstatic that all of us are here together to join in this particular event today. But to start our program officially, I'm just going to ask you to bow your heads with me as I say a word of prayer. Kind Father in heaven, we thank you so much for the opportunity to come and to share in this event. We thank you for life. We thank you for good health. And we pray, dear God, that even as we meet to celebrate the blessing that you've given unto the Real Estate Board, that we remember to remain faithful to you and to those who you've called us to serve. We pray your blessing on Jamaica land we love. Always praying, dear God, that we will seek to live according to your will for us, and then, of course, we'll be able to see the benefits that will be derived therefrom. We pray for every person that will share in the program today, especially those who are still on their way. We pray that you grant them safe journey and safe and quick passage as well, so that they will be able to join in this program today. Take charge, and may everything that we say or do be according to your will, as we pray all these mercies in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you so much. At this point in time, I'm going to invite the Chief Executive Officer of the Real Estate Board, Mrs. Sandra Watson Garrick, to come and to give an overview of the competition as well as to bring greetings. Make her feel welcome, please.
Mrs. Authrine Scarlett, Principal Director in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation in charge of the housing portfolio. Dr. Garth Anderson, President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Mrs. Winnie Berry, from the Ministry of Education, Mr. Howard Johnson, and the President of the Realtors Association of Jamaica and Director of the Real Estate Board, school principals and other representatives, the directors of the Real Estate Board, and I'd just like to acknowledge the two directors present, that is Mrs. Scarlett and Mr. Johnson, members of staff, other specially invited guests, and of course those that are our audience as we stream live. Good morning and a special welcome to you. Let me thank you for joining us on this very special occasion. This competition is the first of its kind to be staged by the Real Estate Board, and as such, I am delighted that you are here with us this morning. This competition is part of our 30th anniversary celebration under the theme, Building the Nation Through Regulation. We have invited all registered high school students in Jamaica to write on the topic, and I quote, "Regulation in the real estate industry is key to ensuring a high standard of service delivery and ethical conduct. It's not intended to increase bureaucracy. Discuss." By way of this contest, we want to encourage young persons to begin thinking seriously about how the real estate industry operates in Jamaica, and hopefully about a career in real estate. It is a common misconception about real estate being part-time, a subsidiary profession, with little or no adequate skill or qualification necessary. And we can attest to the fact that that's not true. While part-time salesmen do exist, a significant number of salesmen, of men and women who sell real estate, do so as a full-time professional. Additionally, many of our salesmen go on to become dealers, providing employment for others. A career in real estate also allows for a level of flexibility and autonomy, especially for persons who are self-motivated, hardworking, honest, and enjoy networking and helping people. And may I just add that your real estate purchase is one of your largest purchases. Hence, it is so important that the quality of service be excellent at all times. The Real Estate Board also wants to do its part in contributing to the analytical and critical thinking skills of our youngsters, while providing an incentive to do so. Students who participate in economic endeavors such as essay writing tend to excel in academics generally and have better learning outcomes. Healthy academic competition and winning also builds self-confidence and self-esteem, while establishing a profile of academic achievement which they can continue to build on. We also want prospective participants to look at the issue of government regulation. While it is true that regulation can be time-consuming and costly, it plays an indispensable role in government as the protector of public order and public trust. Through the work of the Real Estate Board, we can confidently say that we have protected the interests of purchasers in a number of situations, including where development schemes fail and purchasers would have lost 100% of their deposits were not the board involved. Finally, having established the Real Estate Training Institute, and you're now housed in a lecture room of the Institute, in February 2016, which provides pre-licensing courses for dealers and salesmen, it has become even more apparent that there's a greater need for public education on the service standard required by real estate professionals. The overwhelming majority of professionals do provide what we think is above average service to their customers in what can be a very demanding field. However, we continue to insist on service excellence at the highest standard at all times. At this point, I would like to thank the Realtors Association of Jamaica, the president and members of its administration who are here this morning. The Realtors Association of Jamaica has partnered with us in this competition. Since its inception, the organization has operated under an austere code of conduct and has consistently maintained its mission, which commits to upholding the highest standard of ethical, efficient, successful, and best practices in real estate. In closing, I ask everyone here this morning, as well as those watching us remotely, live on our Facebook page, to help us to promote this competition by circulating the information to your friends and family members. The flyers and its rules can be downloaded from our website and Facebook page or collected from our front desk. And we leave them both here at the Training Institute and at 24 Trafalgar Road. We look forward to receiving and marking the numerous scripts we expect to receive. Thank you so much again for joining us.
Thank you, Mrs. Watson-Garrick. You know, since joining the real estate board just over a year ago, one of the things I've come to realize is that in this particular sector, everyone seems to be quite close-knit. Not very often do I go to a space and I see where persons who are being regulated by an entity live so well with the persons who are regulating them. And I marvel sometimes at the familiarity and the love and the camaraderie that is shared between regulators and, of course, those who are, subject to those regulations. So, of course, it means, therefore, that the success of the organization thus far would not have been possible without the continued support and camaraderie and compliance of the stakeholders that we serve. And, of course, this morning we have with us Mr. Howard Johnson, Jr., President of the Realtors Association of Jamaica, and as was mentioned before, a member of the Board of Directors of the REB, here to share with us, and I ask you now to welcome him as he gives his remarks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bailey. Good morning, everyone. Based on information that I saw in my program and what Mr. Bailey read in his opening remarks, I would ask that you forgive me and help me to prevent myself in getting in trouble by just observing the protocol already observed, right? Please? Thank you very much. It is indeed a privilege for me to be here. When I saw my father's name on the program, I had a sense of relief, but Randall put me on the spot by adding the junior to distinguish myself from my dad. But it is indeed a privilege for me to be here in my capacity as President of the Realtors Association of Jamaica to bring greetings to you all. I must say on behalf of my executive members, board members, and the over 900 Realtors and Realtor Associate members, we want to say congratulations to you on your 30th anniversary. 30 is a significant number. It comes right after 29, and you can't skip to 31. Why are you laughing? Which month you know don't have 30? February? Right, but all other 11 requires number 30, so it's quite significant. But indeed, it is like a wedding anniversary, and if this was your wedding anniversary, your stone or gem would be pearl. Why pearl? It is the oldest gem, and it is considered to be the most valuable, and is regarded as one of the highest gems for its beauty. The white pearl symbolizes purity, innocence, faith, honesty, and often worn by brides, right, Mrs. Garrick? The gold pearl or black pearl symbolizes riches, and prosperity. It's not me, says so, it's Google. So don't quote me as a politician. The rich history of the REB and the growth that I have personally observed is one to celebrate, and I ask that at this time you give yourselves a round of applause for your journey thus far. Growth does not come without its challenges. Notwithstanding, one has to learn from disappointments and mistakes to become, dare I say, the authority for the real estate. Someone recently stated that they departed from an airport at 4:36 p.m. and arrived at 4:25 p.m. He arrived before he departed, he chuckled. But the moral is in context of this occasion is that in order to be the authority of the future, one has to envision the outcome and assume the principles from today. I wish the REB all the success that lies in store, and the RAJ pledges to play its part in supporting your objectives by maintaining members that will be the role models that you would like your stakeholders to be. Today is the launch of the National High School Essay Competition. The topic is focusing on regulations being the key to a high standard of service delivery and ethical conduct as opposed to increased bureaucracy. I am particularly pleased to see that the initiative was undertaken by the REB. It is full time that we change the perspective of the industry to a more customer service-centric environment than one that seems to appear to be a maze of nothing but red tapes. I am eager to see the perspective from the high school level, which is, I consider, the future of Jamaica. And as such, the RJ was more than pleased to make our contribution to the winner of this competition. No doubt, the winner may just be the next CEO or chairman of the REB, or who knows, the next president of the Realtors Association of Jamaica. We welcome young minds into this expansive field, industry of opportunities. It is not a 5% industry, but it is an industry that accommodates persons who are career-oriented, like myself, having been in the business for over 21 years. It allows you to get involved in areas such as property management, construction, engineering, marketing, project management, valuation, auctioneering, interior decorating, investment, and many, many more. And if you don't believe me, just contact the REB about their offerings here at the Real Estate Training Institute. And before I use my 1,200 to 1,500 words for this greetings, let me say again, congratulations to the REB on their 30th anniversary, and all the best to the competitors of the National High School Essay Competition. May God continue to bless the directors, the leadership, and staff of the Real Estate Board. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Johnson. It was necessary for me to add the junior because I'm not sure how many persons know that Howard's father is also a real estate professional. So for, at the risk of him being mixed up or, anything of the sort, I had to throw that in. Thank you for the challenge, of course. And then now we move to who I think the persons who will help us best to get this particular project off the ground and, of course, have the support that we need in order to achieve the goals that we have set out. Mr. Fabian Morris is the president of the National Secondary Students Council, and he's going to come and share his remarks shortly. Of course, we need the support of the student. We need the participation of the Students' Council and all those who they represent. So we welcome him. And then following Mr. Morris, Dr. Garth Anderson, president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, will also bring his remarks. So please welcome them as they come.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of the National Secondary Students Council, let me pause to congratulate the Real Estate Board of Jamaica on this year 30th anniversary. It's my distinct pleasure to bring greetings this morning at the launch of your National High School Essay Competition. And I must say that I am indeed pleased to see the thrust to include the voice of youths. It is equally important to note that entrants will examine the Real Estate Board's mandate as the regulators of the real estate industry in Jamaica. while sharing views on how the regulation in the real estate industry is key to ensuring a high standard of service delivery and ethical conduct. We are heartened that the essay competition will undoubtedly facilitate the deliberate knowledge increase amongst my peers on real estate related matters, which will further contribute to the discourse in improving the service delivery. This is indeed revolutionary. We would like to encourage other corporate entities to support youth inclusion and mainstream its offerings in providing a platform for the youth voice to be heard. At the NSSC, we would like to partner in ensuring that the competition's information is shared on all our platforms, so our peers may benefit from this grand opportunity. Finally, we look forward to more opportunities like this that will enrich and empower our youth. I thank you.
Chairman of the proceedings, Mr. Bailey, Mr. Howard Johnson, President RAJ, Mrs. Winnie Berry, Deputy Education Officer, other members of the board, distinguished ladies and gentlemen present, good morning. I want to use this opportunity to applaud the Real Estate Board for this very important initiative, the high school essay competition. It is indeed impressive to see a sector of yours engaging our young people and indeed investing in those you want to invest in your line of business and indeed establish career pathways. Education is a partnership and will only get better when partners, as the Real Estate Board, invest time and money in the development of our young people. Our young people represent the future of our country. And if we are serious about achieving our 2030 vision of creating a Jamaica where we can live, raise our families, do business, and indeed I'm looking forward to retirement in paradise, then we have to take every opportunity we get to engage and advance our young people. We must do all we can to support them, because if we don't, we are going to pay the consequences later on. We want, as a JTA, to fully endorse the activity and to pledge to you that we will be doing all that we can to ensure that we get as many teachers, schools, and students to participate in the activity. And so we wish you every success in your anniversary celebration, and we hope that you will continue to hold those who operate in the sector accountable and to ensure good governance in the sector for many years to come. It was a pleasure being here, and thank you for having me.
I can only assume that by virtue of the support and underscoring of the importance of this project or this competition that has been given to us by the student representative as well as the president of the JTA, that we won't have to worry about getting more entries than we can handle over the next few months. We do hope that you will take the message to your constituents and help us with garnering their support. With us this morning, representing the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, is Mrs. Arthurine Scarlett, who is a Senior Director for Housing Management. She will come now and bring remarks on behalf of the Ministry. Welcome her, please.
Mr. Randall Bailey, our Master of Ceremonies for this morning, Mrs. Sandra Watson-Garrick, CEO of the Real Estate Board, Mr. Howard Johnson Jr., President of the Realtors Association of Jamaica, Dr. Gareth Anderson, the President of the JTA, Mrs. Winnie Berry, who is representing the Ministry of Education, Mr. Fabian Morris, representing the National Student Council Association. First of all, let me extend an apology on behalf of Mrs. Audrey Sewell, our Permanent Secretary, who really would have loved to be here as an educator. She's one who takes a keen interest in the sector, but as you can imagine, being the Permanent Secretary with responsibility for many different portfolios, from time to time things will come up unplanned, and so she's unavoidably absent this morning. I'm indeed pleased to be here to bring greetings at this launch of the National High School Essay Competition that is being put on by the Real Estate Board as part of their 30th anniversary celebrations. I commend the Real Estate Board for launching this essay competition because I believe that it is a positive way to introduce young persons to and get them involved in what we do as regulators. But even more than that, the essay competition, I believe, will help them to widen their knowledge base, and through the research that they will have to do, will enable them to see more options that are available as they get to the point where they have to choose their careers. There is no question about the importance of the real estate sector in Jamaica. Indeed, property and home ownership is a desire for many persons, and as such, the real estate industry is one of the fastest growing industries in the country, driven by, among other things, rapid urbanization, growing population, the attractiveness to local and foreign investors. And as such, the scope of the Real Estate Board, as you would have heard, would have expanded over its 30 years of existence to include much more than what was seen as its core responsibility of introducing policies geared towards promoting satisfactory standards of professionalism and ethical conduct in real estate. There is therefore not only the need for continuous education and training for persons who actively practice in the industry, but there's also a need, I believe, to increase awareness about the public so that they understand their roles and responsibilities in the real estate market. And as such, I believe that this essay competition will assist in that process. The 30th anniversary celebration, I believe, provides the perfect opportunity, therefore, for our young students and our young minds to learn more about the sector as they conduct the research that will be necessary. And as we would have heard, the topic that they're going to be writing about is looking at the regulation of the sector and trying to determine whether or not it is necessary to ensure high standards, or as many persons sometimes feel, it is just more bureaucracy. And so I don't see many students here, but I hope that as they do their research, that they will understand that the predominant role of the Real Estate Board, while it is varied, the goal is to ensure that persons who develop and sell real estate behave in a professional manner, because we would have heard several of the speakers before say it, that the purchase of real estate is probably the single largest investment that anybody will make in their lifetime. And so we want to ensure that these persons are protected. And it is therefore my sincere hope that the competition and the exposure that will come about because of this competition will enable Jamaica to continue to shine indeed in the region as an example of a real estate industry that is secure, where our developers, our dealers, our salesmen, and our clients alike benefit as a result of the exemplary work that is being done by the Real Estate Board. And so in closing, I want to congratulate the board for this wonderful milestone that they have achieved and for conceptualizing this essay competition. As Mr. Johnson had said earlier, the 30th anniversary is a pearl. And I trust that even as you continue for the next 30 years and beyond, that when we come back for the diamond anniversary, will be the 60th, that we will have looked back on today as the start of great things happening in the sector because of what will come out of this competition, which we hope will attract the interest of all our high schools island-wide. And so I wish for you all a productive national high school essay competition. May the best essay win. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Mrs. Scarlett. She would have laid down quite the challenge to us all. Just in case you missed it, number one, please stay alive for the next 30 years. And number two, if you're not even at least employed to the REB in 30 years, you're expected to come back to celebrate 60. That's what you're saying, right? I got it. So thank you very much again. And at this point in time, we're going to be having the keynote address from Mrs. Winnie Berry, who is the Deputy Chief Education Officer within the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, and her particular responsibility is for curriculum and support services. Just by word of introduction, Mrs. Winnie Ann Marie Berry has served the teaching professions for 33 years. During her years of teaching at the Queen's High School for Girls in St. Andrew, she consistently steered students towards high academic achievement and was also a staff advisor to the Students' Council. At the ministry, Mrs. Berry served as Assistant Chief Education Officer of Media Services, and as mentioned before, she's now the Deputy Chief Education Officer for Curriculum and Support Services. She has contributed to the development of several ministry initiatives. These include the Sixth Form Textbook Program, the Literature Textbook Program for PATH students, and the National Textbook Voucher Initiative. She was Program Coordinator for other undertakings, namely the Positive Behavior in Schools Program in 2014, and the design and development of a series of 4 textbooks for secondary schools in 2015. Mrs. Berry has received several awards, which include the CEO's Award for Outstanding Team Member of the Curriculum and Support Services Unit for 2010 to 2011, and the Award for Excellence for 2015 to 2016, of course, both of which are from the Ministry of Education. So you can see that this person is one who not just requires excellence, but has lived it. And as such, please give her an excellent welcome now as she shares with us.
And thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Radley Bailey, who is also corporate planning, the corporate planning analyst. I thank you. Our CEO of the Real Estate Board, Ms. Sandra Watson Garrick. We have also Mr. Howard Johnson, and you are President, Realtors Association of Jamaica. Mr. Garth Anderson, and he came earlier, or JTA President, and Mr. Fabian Morrison, President of the National Secondary Students' Council. Members, other members of the Real Estate Board, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I must first express the inestimable pleasure that it is for me to be here as a guest speaker, deputizing for the Senator, the Honorable Royal Reid, Minister of Education, Youth and Information, who is unable to be here today. We spoke earlier, I note, from our Permanent Secretary, Representative Audrey Sewell, noting the conflict of the schedule, and this is a similar situation. But want to thank you on his behalf, Real Estate Board, for extending the invitation to the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information to participate in this launch, the launch of your National High School Essay Competition. I want to begin by saying that indeed we're all on board, partnering to improve the life chances of our children while ensuring ultimate development for our country. And so I want to congratulate you on your 30th anniversary and the staging of this inaugural event. It is significant that the competition is being launched during the first week of the new academic year, and the fact that International Literacy Day will be celebrated on September 8th. In the minds of some, the launch may seem to them to be an unlikely pair. Some would question, why not an architectural competition to build model homes? But today, there will be no such question. In fact, the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information wants to say you stand tall in our books and salute this thinking outside of the box, going against the norm and doing something that can be considered not only to be novel, but important. In fact, real estate and the school system are inextricably linked. Yes, they are. Real estate prices are driven in a number of instances by the quality of the school system that is in that community. And therefore, the onus is on us at the ministry, and I dare say all of us, to ensure that we have an education system that is learner-centered, dynamically relevant, responsive, and cognizant of the social and cultural needs, understanding the context and aspirations of the community and of Jamaica at large. This is a system that facilitates learning at international standards and teaches the learner how to learn in order to earn. How do we accomplish this goal? We do so by emphasizing key skills such as language and literacy, which are being promoted through this essay competition. Literacy, you know, and I'm quoting now Bill Clinton. He said, literacy is not a luxury. It is a right and a responsibility. If our world is to meet the challenges of the 21st century, we must harness the energy and creativity of all our citizens. In an environment where knowledge drives the world, the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information recognizes that language and literacy will and must encompass not just reading, but writing and speaking and listening and thinking. These are the most basic currencies of the knowledge economy we're living in today. In times past, it would have been acceptable for an illiterate person to hold a job. However, that time is long gone. In the present global climate, much has changed. There are modernizations in technology and communication. People are now connected between and within countries. Knowledge and skill-based economies rival and dominate the producers of tradable goods. However, the ministry is not daunted by these changes, as we are determined to create a learner-centered education system that is dynamic, relevant, responsive, and cognizant of national and international needs. This will be achieved by creating, fostering, and embracing partnerships with stakeholders such as you, the Real Estate Board of Jamaica. And you have been showing us that you are on board with us in ensuring that our children become educated, that no child will be left behind. You are helping us to prepare them for the modern world where they can compete with individuals from Asia, North and South America, and Africa, all over the world. The vision of the World Declaration on Education for All, 1990, to which Jamaica is committed, states that all children, young people, and adults have the human right to benefit from an education that will improve their lives and transform their societies. But before Jamaican children can improve their lives by being lifelong learners, continuously developing wisdom and knowledge, they have to be able to read, interpret printed materials, and write with clarity. Nothing is more basic, yet no ability is more fundamental. These are the skills that I see that are being promoted in the topic. Regulation in the real estate industry is key to ensuring a high standard of service delivery and ethical conduct. It is not intended to increase bureaucracy. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, language and literacy are the gateway to success that makes all other learning achievable, from solving complex numeracy problems to making scientific discoveries and attaining technological competencies. At the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, we have attached credence to the fact that through the development of the National Standards Curriculum for English language, teaching and learning from grades 1 to 9, we are ensuring that we have opened the gateway to success. We are improving the life chances of our children. This curriculum has at its core great emphasis on the teaching and learning of English language as a skills-based and not just content-based subject. We are no longer focusing on just what our students know, but what they can do. So it's what they know and can do. It caters to the needs and characteristics of the 21st century learner and outlines a pathway on which students can actively speak, listen to, read, write, and comprehend the language. It provides and encourages teachers to provide authentic learning experiences in which students are required to use the language to manipulate the world around them. Good writing is an important part of life, whether it's for academic or professional purposes. It helps to express feelings and thoughts to others in a relatively permanent way. And at the ministry, we fully support this competition. And so, to the Real Estate Board, we say today, kudos to you. We will be promoting this cause, and we want to encourage you as you enhance critical thinking, creative thinking, and you're helping our students to organize their thoughts, and you're also helping them generally to improve their communication skills. We'll certainly be helping you to promote it among our schools. This competition will also help our students to develop professional arguments about a topic and articulate their opinions. For students, good writing skills are important when writing for admission to universities and colleges for higher education. It's important, therefore, that every student develops good writing skills and can continuously improve on them. The world of work is becoming increasingly competitive. Yes. And so it behooves us now to ensure that our young people are skillfully trained and are empowered with relevant knowledge, highly certified and ready for careers that will redound to obtaining meaningful and available work. The Real Estate Board of Jamaica must be lauded for reinforcing the importance of the value also of certification. As the education system continues the transformation process, it is ensuring that there's relevance to its curriculum offerings. And therefore, among the improvements in the recently revised grades 1 to 9 National Standards curriculum is the reintroduction of civics as a discrete discipline at 7 to 9. And I mean here, well and clearly defined discipline. This curriculum is transformational. It aims to promote, among other things, the rights and responsibilities of the citizens and ethics. Ethics is knowing the difference between what you have a right to do and what is right to do. Potter Stewart, that's not mine. The importance of stakeholder partnerships, therefore, cannot be overemphasized as we work together to strengthen each other's understandings, capabilities, and effectiveness. The Ministry of Education, Youth, and Information is indeed supporting this venture by communicating with our schools, and I'm reiterating about this competition and encouraging our students to participate. I end by recounting your motto, working together to create safer, more comfortable living spaces. If this is achieved, the bigger picture of the National Development Plan, Vision 2030, to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business, and I hear retire in paradise. This bigger picture will be achieved. Congratulations again, Real Estate Board of Jamaica. Take a bow. We are on board with you. Thank you.
Having already proven my ability to communicate using the Queen's English, allow me to break for a little bit to say enough respect, Miss Berry, for the big up. You know what I mean? The RUB did not miss the 25 times that you told us you're proud of us. We appreciate it. And of course, then team, it means then that we're onto something good, and we should only ensure that we keep going in this direction. At this point in time, we're going to be favored with a special item, and I'm encouraging you just to, loosen up a little bit, enjoy the item, and immediately following Shadeen Ferguson will be Mrs. Watson Garrick coming back to officially declare our competition open. So please now welcome Ms. Shadeen Ferguson with her item.
Good afternoon, everyone. Morning, still morning, okay. Don't lose your way with each passing day. You've come so far, don't throw it away. Live believing, dreams of a weekend, wonders are waiting to start. Live your story, fate open glory, hold to the truth in your heart. If we hold on together, I know our dreams will never die. Dreams see us through to forever. When clouds rolls by, for you and I, souls in the wind, learn how to bend, seek out a star, hold on to the end. Valley, mountain, there is a fountain washing away all my tears. Words are swaying, someone is praying, please let us come home to stay. Oh, if we hold on together, I know our dreams will never die. Dreams see us through to forever. When now souls came by, the clouds roll by for you and If you know this song, you could sing along when the chorus comes in. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well, let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a strength of pride to make it easier. Let the children laughter remind them how it used to be. Everybody's searching for that hero. People need someone to look up to. I never found me someone who could fill my needs. A lonely place to be. So I learned to depend on me. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away Children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a strength of pride to make it easier. Let the children laughter remind them how it used to be. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity, because the greatest love of all is happening to me. The greatest love of all is inside of me. The greatest love of all is easy to achieve. Yeah, I found the greatest love of all inside of me. And if by chance that special place that you've been dreaming of lead me to that special place to find your strength in love. Thank you.
I'm sure you'll agree with me, she little but she talawa. Indeed, we have really, really very talented members of staff. I can't say a special thanks to everybody, but before I close, I really want to just say commend two persons. Shadeen is a member of our team, and Mrs. Gordon, who did all this wonderful decoration behind us. Very talented members indeed. My purpose here, and I just want to give one explanation for the visitors in the house. You would have heard Mr. Johnson make some puns, and you would have heard us laugh, and you would not understand that. I don't think we should make you leave without understanding. So he would have said something about us being the authority. That's because the board is going to change its name to the Real Estate Authority of Jamaica. So he was making a pun at that. And of course, the personal one that I will take him to task out of the room is when he talked about the pearl and the bride. That's because I got married a year ago. Okay. My task here is to declare this competition open. And as of now, we'll be happy to receive any essays that are ready. So we declare it open, and we want to say to you, thanks so much for the support.
By any chance, are there any questions that you may have for us regarding the competition or any bit of our work? We'll take that now. And while you're thinking of it, just allow me please to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Evan Thompson, who joined us not too long ago. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. He's from, of course, the Meteorological Service of Jamaica. We're very happy for the support. And, of course, take a flyer and share it with your friends and family. Of course. You have 10. That's good. That's good stuff. Everybody leave here with 10. All right. So if there are no questions for us at this point, of course, if there is anyone who has need for information, our offices remain open to you online, by telephone, whatever it is, just call. And if the person who answers can't answer your question, you will not end the call without that answer being provided one way or another. Right, Damien? All right. He's our PR person, so he's on top of it. So then at this point, I'm going to invite Mr. Ainsworth Norton to come forward. He's the manager for the timeshare registry at the Real Estate Board, and he will deliver the vote of thanks. Welcome him, please.
A very pleasant, let me check my watch. A very pleasant morning. All right, let me address you all. Mrs. Arthurine Scarlett, Principal Director, Housing Portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. Mr. Howard Johnson, Jr., President of the Realtors Association and board member. Dr. Garth Anderson, President of the Jamaica Teachers Association. Mrs. Winnie Berry, Deputy Chief Education Officer in the Ministry of Education. Mrs. Sandra Garrick, who recently got married last year, Chief Executive Officer of the Real Estate Board and of the Commission of Strata Corporations. Principals and representatives of the various schools, as well as media representatives. To our other valuable and specially invited guests, real estate fraternity members, fellow staff members, it is indeed my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. So on behalf of the Real Estate Board, the team of organizers, and indeed on my own behalf, I take this opportunity to express sincere gratitude to all our speakers and our main presenter for making this event monumental and worthy of a place in the annals of time and history. Special thanks must be given to our speaker, Mrs. Winnie Berry, who skillfully meandered the fusion of the education system and the real estate industry. It is worthy to note that the Ministry of Education is committed to creating a learner-centered education system in response to a changing global economic climate as the nation prepares the youth for the modern world. And at this stage, I want to add, I recall in my youthful years, not too long ago, I probably say last week, that we were not made aware of the landed profession or what real estate was all about. It was just lawyer, doctor, Indian chief, rich man, poor man, beggar man, thief, if we all know that. But nothing was said of the real estate profession. And when I entered university, I entered doing real estate and not knowing what it was until later on. And so it is indeed our privilege to try and make that fusion and make the industry more known, and it's not a poor cousin of any other profession, but it is a worthwhile, meaningful profession that contributes, I would dare say, to 70% of GDP. That said, all right, so I must also make special mention of the address by Mr. Howard Johnson, Jr. of the Realtors Association of Jamaica, with his pearl of wisdom, where he indicated that the Real Estate Board, if the Real Estate Board wishes to become the authority of the future, we must first visualize the future outcome. Thank you very much, Mr. Johnson. I also wish to express gratitude to Dr. Garth Anderson for his insightful thoughts. He reminded us that our young people represents the future of the country and that we have to take every opportunity for youth engagement. It would be remiss of me not to mention Mrs. Autherine Scarlett's presentation, where she highlighted the importance of regulation of the real estate industry as a major contributor to national development. I dare not forget Mr. Fabian Morris, and I smile. In reflecting on his presentation, I am reminded of the words aptly spoken by the late John F. Kennedy, former President of the United States, when he said, I quote, "Leadership and learning are indispensable to each other," unquote. His presence has given us hope for a brighter future. Mr. Morris, fervet opus in campus, is in the distance to fortis cadere cedere non potest. I could not give that one up. Right. Indeed, all the presenters were encouraging and have bolstered our resolve to persevere in the face of changing and challenging circumstances. Ladies and gentlemen, this launch did not happen overnight, and indeed, we can confidently say that they started over 30 years ago. However, the planning wagon began rolling months ago. The organization is fortunate to have dedicated and motivated functionaries attuned to details. Without them, this event would not be possible. So to the hardworking staff of the Real Estate Board, I say thanks. I must also make special mention of Mr. Damian, what's your name again? Wilson. He is from that side of Hero Circle. He has done a wonderful job in putting all of this together, and we just really want to show our appreciation to him. We would also like to thank the Jamaica Information Service for providing media coverage, without which our intent could not have been made or ably communicated to the wider audience. And it is indeed a novel thing to now be on Facebook. You know, instead of being on TV, we're now on Facebook, so we are all over the world. So world, hey. So once again, I want to say thanks to all who have participated in today's event to make it what it has been. We thank you for being with us today. The pleasure has indeed been mine. God bless you.
Now, Mr. Norton and I are very good friends, so I have no reservation in pointing out that he didn't see the need to thank the MC. But you're forgiven, as the Lord would require of me. Gentle folks, thank you so much for being with us today. Before we close, there are just a few things. I mentioned earlier that we are doing a number of activities for this, our 30th anniversary. Later on this week, Thursday of this week to be exact, we'll be the special guests of an outside broadcast Friday. Thank you for that clarification, Damon. An outside broadcast on Power 106 between the hours of 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're encouraging everyone who can to tune in and to, of course, you know, if you need to call in to give support for our work and our purpose, feel free to do so. If you're a member of staff, don't give your name. You know, just big we up, all right? Then on the 6th of October, we'll be having a very special and prestigious gala that will be celebrating all of our work and all of our long-standing members of staff, etc., etc. If you are in need of information, oh wait, before I give you the information part, everybody's invited. And if you need information about tickets and the event, speak with Damien over on my right. And of course, again, call into our offices. We'll be more than welcome, more than happy to give you that information. And then also look out for a very special newspaper supplement that will be published in October that will give further information and feature on the work of the REB. Thank you so much again, everyone. We appreciate your presence, the time that you spent with us, as expensive as we know it is. At this point in time, while we're closing, I'm going to invite everyone to join us on the outside, where there are some refreshments that have been prepared for us, and some more music will be delivered by, or wait, I should have said this earlier. I saw a keyboard, and Shadeen came to stand up, and then we started hear bands a play, drums and all these things. Okay, Chris McDonald is the musician. Thank you so much, sir. Awesome job earlier, and we look forward to the rest of it that you have prepared for us. Again, God bless everyone, and we'll see you again soon.